Well, hello from Cambridge, hello from the swamp, and welcome to a short video which might just change your life. The theme is quite simple, well recognized as a human activity and widely practiced across the planet. Managing relationships is something we all do every day. But if the theme is simple, the doing of it, the managing of relationships, is not so simple. And as for doing it well, and consistently well, that is not simple at all. Relationship management, whether it is on the job or just for your personal satisfaction, remains a pretty hit or miss game for most of us. As friends, parents, scholars, teachers, consultants, mentors, bosses, and psychologists conspire to keep us guessing. So we've gone back over the many decades we've spent at the coalface of life, searching for a new answer to the age-old question: how do you take Lady Luck out of managing relationships and put planning and design in her place? We think we have an answer. It may not be the only one, but it has worked for us for many years, in many countries, in many cultures, and has helped us influence many millions of transactions in a variety of situations. So it is built on experience, our own and that of some other folk whose example is well worth following. The secret is a compact box of tricks. We call it a toolbox, and we've named it Swamp, for reasons that will become apparent if you stay to the end of the video. Do I already hear a voice crying, "Uncool, get me out of here. I'm pretty damned good at managing relationships already. I do it every day. People like me. I have plenty of friends. Job's going fine. Business is good. Boss is happy. Customers are dancing to the music of my CRM algorithms. Voters love me. Donors donate. Career's in good shape. Life's okay," etc., etc., etc. Well, fine, I do hear you. But are you sure? No doubts at all? Surely with something as important as managing relationships to your advantage, there's always room for improvement, however good you are. And wouldn't taking greater control of something you do, for the most part instinctively, intuitively, or trust to a computer program, be a cool idea? No more hit and miss? No more Lady Luck? No more nasty surprises? So hang on in. You will learn something in the next 15 minutes, I promise. Or money back. Well, of course, you've not paid any money, and nor will you, not for Swamp, but you do get my point. Okay, let's get going. The eagle-eyed amongst you will already have spotted something odd about our title. The choice of swamp is weird already. Patches of soft, wet land, called fens round us here in Cambridge, and subject to flooding. In southern states, usually full of alligators. A swamp is not the obvious choice for labelling a toolkit for managing relationships. But our spelling of swamp is weird. Swamp is spelt S-stop, W-stop, A-stop, M-stop, P-stop. Well, no, it's not a mistake, although when Grandad plays with PowerPoint, mistakes will happen, and Microsoft Spell Checker is always ready to mess things up. But these full stops are not a mistake. They are deliberate. SWAMP is an acronym, and each letter stands for an action, a reminder, a step on the journey to managing relationships well. S-stop, W-stop, A-stop, M-stop, P-stop shows us the way. It doesn't do the business for us, of course. Sadly, we can't just sit back and watch Swamp at work. It's a toolkit, not a robot. But it does point the way. Follow the signs, and Swamp will take you where you want to go. Well then, you will be asking, this Swamp thing, what is Swamp? What is it for? And how do I put Swamp to work and make a difference, make the world a better place? Well, for me at any rate. And finally, what are its origins? Where does Swamp come from? A clue. A long, long way from Cambridge. Okay, first question. What is it, this Swamp? Think of Swamp as a toolkit for creating, building, and storing value. Value as perceived by another human being. That is how Swamp manages relationships positively, by influencing favorably the way one person sees an object or another person. If a person sees an object as having positive value, the relationship has been managed positively. If a person sees another person as having positive value, the relationship has been managed positively. If a person sees me as having positive value to them, the relationship has been managed positively. I have another friend. Job done. So, Swamp builds the positive value of an object, or a person, for a defined person or people. And the storehouse of that positive value is what we call a brand. The end game for Swamp is what we call loyalty, when the value of the brand to a person is so established in that person's mind that they can be defined as brand loyal. This short word brand, much used and little understood, covers a lot of ground: commercial, charitable, political and personal. Swamp works for any brand. A brand for profit, a not-for-profit brand. A business-to-consumer brand like Apple or iPhone. A business-to-business brand like IBM. A manufacturer brand like Samsung. A retailer brand like Tesco, Carrefour or Walmart. A personal brand. Taylor Swift, Michael Jackson, Madonna, Ariana Grande, Bad Bunny, all personal brands. A charity brand like the World Wildlife Fund, Greenpeace, Save the Children. A political brand like the Democrat Party, the Conservative Party, what I call a taxpayer brand like the NHS. A tourism brand, Chatsworth for example, Stately Home, Disney World. And sports brands like Adidas and Nike. Any brand can be built with Swamp, including, and most important of all to every one of us, Brand Me, the brand on your birth certificate and mine, and the one whose value matters to each one of us for life. In the course of time, we'll post videos that touch on as many of these special areas as we can get round to. But for now, this is a one-size-fits-all swamp, universal swamp, a swamp for all seasons, that works for all these brands and more. Time to put Swamp to work. So how is it used? How does Swamp, in your hands, weave its magic to create sustainable value in a brand? It's actually very straightforward. Swamp is an acronym, a set of letters, each one a step on the value-building ladder. Let's call our brand Brand X. In summary, S is for Set Brand X objectives. W is for Weaponize Brand X with a strategy which sets it apart from competitors. A is for Advertise Brand X as different from its competitors. M stands for Measure Brand X Progress, and P is for Prod, or coax, Brand X users up the Swamp ladder to loyalty. Let's go a bit deeper, but before we start the main feature, a short prequel. Remember that for any object, a brand included, to have value, it must have value to, for, somebody or somebodies. You can call them what you like. Marketers often call them targets. Whatever we call them, before we do anything, we have to identify them. Consumers, voters, donors, friends, partners, bosses, teachers, students, etc. Only with that done can we put Swamp to work. Consider it done. Now, S for Set Objectives. If you don't know where you want to go, you will not get there. You must have objectives for any task or project. So too for your brand. Set objectives for your brand. You can set as many or as few objectives as you like, but every brand must have these two value-creating objectives as its launchpad. Objective 1, get Brand X recognized, perceived as offering unique value to its users. That is where value is created. Objective 2, coax or prod users into eventual loyalty to Brand X. In loyalty, value is stored and sustained. So, set objectives without fail. Now, how do we get there? How do we reach our objectives? Our brand isn't going to get there without a fight. Life is tough, and there are always competitors. You have to weaponize your brand. W for weaponize. And that means you have to give it a strategy. Objectives tell us where to go. A strategy tells us how to get there. We know the objectives. How do we equip our brand to get there? The strategy is always be different. Your brand must be different from competitors, and it must be seen to be different. Be different. What you are must be different. If you're not, why should you be chosen in preference to a competitor? Michael Porter was speaking of the harsh battleground of commerce when he said there are only two strategies for a business. Be low cost or be different. A low cost doesn't work for long. You won't get chosen forever by being cheap. Be different. Be seen to be different. No good being different if no one knows. You have to be seen to be different, and do that by saying you are different. Your brand strategy is to be different and be seen to be different. A is for advertise. It's in italics, so you don't think it means going out and buying TV spots, contracting pop-up ads on the web, or employing a light plane to write your message on the sky. Advertising Brand Me doesn't need £1 million ad spot on Downton Abbey or the Super Bowl. Advertising comes from a Latin word, to bring to someone's attention, have people notice. Bring your brand to the attention of your target, whether it's a customer, a consumer, a voter, a donor, or just a friend. Do it for free, do it in conversation, do it in emails, do it cheap, but do it. And follow the strategy, to be seen as different. Tell them you're different, in every message, in every impact, in every medium, email, conversation, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, everywhere, every time. Every chance you have to say you are different, say it. M is for measure your brand's progress. It has objectives, it has a strategy. Remember Get Brand X recognized as offering unique value to its users? How am I doing? Remember Coke's targets into loyalty to Brand X? How am I doing? Coke's customers up the loyalty ladder. How am I doing? Yes, that loyalty ladder. Now, how do we answer that one? How far have I got towards the objective of persuading my users to bestow their loyalty on Brand X? I need a measurement of progress to loyalty. I need a ladder to loyalty. And Swamp has one. We've come to the last letter of the Swamp acronym. P for prodding our users up the loyalty ladder. I don't really like prod, it's a bit aggressive, but coax, which is much gentler, much more persuasive, begins with a C, and I needed a P. So prod it has to be. Prod gently. Much more important for now is not about prodding or coaxing, it's about the ladder itself, and that is what matters. So what is the Swamp loyalty ladder, and how does it help? The journey from ignorance of a brand's existence to loyalty to the brand is a long one, but each step takes you closer, and each step can be mapped. The Swamp loyalty ladder does just that, maps each step from ignorance of a brand's existence to brand loyalty. The climb is steep, but manageable in stages. Stage 1, ignorance. No awareness of the brand at all. Stage 2, brand awareness. Stage 3, brand knowledge. And so, through positive attitude to intention to use, to buy, to vote, donate, date, befriend, etc. Intention moves on into stage 6. Real use, purchase, vote cast, donate, date, etc. Then comes satisfaction with the experience. Stage 8, repeat use. 9, sustained satisfaction. And, in due course, stage 10, loyalty. To measure where you are on the road to brand loyalty, just situate each user on the rung they've reached. Voila, we know how we are doing. Coax your users up that ladder, rung by rung, and you will get there to loyalty eventually. And with loyalty, the brand of greatest benefit to you, the owner. Simples again. And that's all there is to Swamp. Yes. Where does Swamp come from? Far away and long ago. Here on the banks of the Ohio River, Cincinnati, home to P&G, the Procter & Gamble Company, since 1837. In 1931, they completed the process of raising brand management from the intuitive to the methodical, and appointed the first corporate brand manager. Strikingly, every one of the chief executives of this giant multinational since that day nearly 100 years ago is or has been a brand manager. Swamp encapsulates that methodology in a simple acronym for creating sustainable brand value. Set objectives, weaponize, advertise, measure, and prod. Coax is probably a better word, but begins with C, not P. But however you do it, the end is loyalty. And that is all that matters to a brand and its owner. Thanks for watching this introduction, and we hope to see you again back here at the Cambridge Institute of Marketing Practice.